Hi, and welcome to tonight's study in the book of Proverbs. Tonight we're in Proverbs 10, verse 8, and it says this: "The wise person accepts instructions, but the one who speaks foolishness will come to ruin." So we see that the wise person does something passively because he doesn't know what to do in the situation, so he accepts instructions. And the fool does something actively even though he doesn't know what to do in the situation. And we find that every day. Now, sometimes instructions, when you passively accept those instructions, they tell you to actively do something. Like in Matthew chapter 7, starting in verse 24, it says, "Everyone who hears these words of mine and does them is like a wise man who built his house on rock. The rain fell, the flood came, and the winds beat against that house, but it did not collapse because it had been founded on rock. Everyone who hears these words of mine and does not do them is like a foolish man who built his house on sand. The rain fell, the flood came, and the winds beat against that house, and it collapsed. It was utterly destroyed." Now, the difference between the wise person and the fool is that the wise person accepts the instruction, builds the house on the rock. The fool is so busy talking, even though he doesn't know where to build his house, that he builds it in the wrong place, and it's destroyed. Proverbs 10 verse 9 says this: "The one who conducts himself in integrity will live securely, but the one who behaves perversely will be found out." So we're doing 2 tonight, 8 and 9. In the NIV it says this: "The man of integrity walks securely, but he who takes crooked paths will be found out." Now, part of the solution to the godly life is how you walk, and the other part of it is where you walk. They're so interrelated, but they are separate things. Now let's look at the perfect combination of how you walk and where you walk, and it's in an oldie and goldie that we all know, and most of us know by heart. You might not be a Christian and know it by heart. It says this in Psalm 23, a psalm of David: "The Lord is my shepherd." It's my guide, my provider. He shows me how to walk and where to walk. That's a shepherd's job. "I lack nothing. He takes me to lush pastures. He leads me to refreshing water. He restores my strength. He leads me down the right paths for the sake of his reputation. Even when I must walk through the darkest valley, I fear no danger, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff reassure me. You prepare a feast before me in plain sight of my enemies. You refresh my head with oil. My cup is completely full. Surely your goodness and faithfulness will pursue me all my days, and I will live in the Lord's house for the rest of my life." And we see chapter 10 verse 8 of Proverbs says this: "The wise person accepts instructions, but the one who speaks foolishness will come to ruin." Accepting instruction is allowing him to lead us and provide for us. Not accepting his instruction is speaking foolishness and will lead your spiritual house to be utterly destroyed. And Proverbs 10:9 says, "The one who conducts himself in integrity will live securely, but the one who behaves perversely will be found out." So if we conduct ourselves with integrity, by letting him shepherd us, our house will be secure because we're going to live in his house. And if you notice, I put certain emphases in Psalm 23. We don't do anything until it says, well, even the few times that you need to walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'll be with you. But the whole rest of them, he's the shepherd. He takes me. He leads me. He restores me. He leads me. He prepares a feast. He refreshes my head with oil. And we live in the Lord's house. Hallelujah. I mean, that's what is there for us, just for the asking. Salvation, but it's also a walk. Where you walk and how you walk. So you ask for the walk. You say, Lord, come into my life. Be my shepherd. But then he's going to start to tell you where to walk and how to walk. And as beautiful as becoming saved is, and as difficult sometimes as walking the way that he wants you to walk, where he wants you to walk, as difficult as they are, they're just as beautiful. Until next time, God bless you.